Welcome to the century of the side hustle. No longer is it a debate whether or not you need a side hustle in your life. The debate is all around which one. So the purpose of this video is to share my own personal experiences, either looking into or participating in different opportunities that are available today to bring in an extra stream of income, in the hope that it helps you do your due diligence and work out whether or not one of these opportunities, or all of them, are worth your time and effort and energy. So let's get the ball rolling with Uber, or ride-sharing apps that are available. There's quite a few different platforms out there, depending on where you are in the world, which one is going to be the main one for you. Now, you need a couple of things to participate in ride-sharing, and that is, number one, a vehicle that you have access to, and number two, spare time. Actually, I'm going to add a third thing there. You need customers. So right now, we can kind of scratch that straight off the list because most people are quarantined. They ain't going nowhere. And so business has plummeted as a result. However, there is Uber Eats and those food sharing apps, which works on a similar platform or principle. They are booming. And so you could deliver some food to someone. Essentially, it's about getting people from point A to point B, or solving a problem for them by getting their food from point A to point B, their stomach. And as a result, you can get paid a commission each time, or a fare each time you do that. So that is a viable option. When I looked into it, I was most attracted by the flexibility of it, because you have the flexibility to work the hours that you want. If you want to wake up at 3 a.m. and get to work, then go for it. The only catch with that is you are restricted by how many clients actually want your services at that point in time. I was located in an area where at 3 a.m. there was no one who wanted that. There was also the possibility that I could drive someone out of town for an hour or so and get stuck there without able to get a return fare. So these are some big downsides for me. It had flexibility, but when I worked out the actual costing of it, once Uber had taken their commission for providing the platform, which is fair enough, and then the expenses on my side for maintenance and upkeep and petrol and all that sort of jazz, I found I was working for less than minimum wage. And even if it's flexible, that's just a shitty job, and I don't want a shitty job. So I scratched Uber off the list. However, it may be a viable option for you. I don't know. You've got to work that out. You need to figure out what it is that you want from the opportunities that you're looking for, and that will help you decide which is the best fit. Number two is Airbnb. Airbnb is a fantastic way of freeing up stagnant equity that can be trapped within your spare spaces. So if you've got a couch, if you've got a spare bedroom, if you've got an entire house or apartment that you want to rent out, Airbnb make that process very simple. I rented out my apartment while I was traveling in Chile, and it financed my trip. It was fantastic. Ran into a little bit of trouble with the actual landlord because I was subletting it out. Which is one of the downsides of Airbnb, that you can fall into a whole lot of grey area, and there's different legislation for different places, different laws and rules that you have to abide by. There's building rules if you're in a place that has a lot of, many apartments in your apartment building. So that is one of the downsides. The other downside is I didn't see any leverage in there. Unless I went out and set up multiple locations, which is possible, and then had a manager taking care of those, I didn't see it growing and expanding much. Again, even if I did that, there was never going to be a point where I could step back. I would have to always be pushing it to grow and expand and expand. And you may be saying, well, that's the case with all businesses. It's not, actually. There are options available and business vehicles out there where you can build in the right way and it can multiply your action and effort. So I'll get to them later. Now, number three we are up to is flipping things. So buying something for $1, maybe at a second-hand store, and then selling it online somewhere for $3 or $5 or whatever price you want to put on it, whatever price people are willing to pay. I'll give you an example. I use Facebook Marketplace for this. It's a great way of just bringing in some extra cash. It's a lot of fun. I do it with my books all the time when I want to free up extra space in my library to add new books because I'm constantly buying books. Or if I happen to be a secondhand bookstore and I see some titles that I know will sell really well and they're cheap, then I'll buy them. For example, I bought The Secret. You've probably heard of The Secret. I bought 3 books that are by the same author. They're beautiful. They're in great condition. I bought them for 50 cents, $1, and $1. So that's $2.50 for the 3 of them, okay? I sold them for $45 as a secret packet. And that is an example of what you can do. I sold that on Facebook Marketplace. Facebook takes no cut, no commission. That's fantastic. I got them to pay for the postage and I sent it off to them. Now, the downsides of this, actually, one more on the positive side. You can actually get free products. There's groups where people are giving away stuff because they don't want to invest the time and energy into actually having to sell it, because it is a hassle to sell things. You've got people coming and window shoppers, tire kickers, all that sort of stuff. But you can take people's free stuff that they no longer want, and then you can put a price tag on it and hopefully sell it. The downside is there's a risk with doing that. You can end up with an entire living room full of other people's crap because no one else actually wants it. And then it's your responsibility to try and clear that. It can take a lot of time and energy. That's why it's not my main thing. It's just kind of a thing that I do on the side if it happens to be convenient for me. I'm not going out of my way to go and sell some books or some things I found in a secondhand store. I have found I've encountered very few people who are doing this on a large scale. It is fantastic if you have young children and you want to teach them how to sell things, how to value something, how to earn their own money. It's brilliant for that, but scaling it beyond that, I don't see a huge amount of potential for it. So therefore, it wasn't for me. It may be more for you, but I find it hard to believe that you could create much more than a part-time income doing that. So let's move on to number 4. I think I'm up to number 4. And let's say, also I'll put eBay, Gumtree, Craigslist, all into that category of just flipping stuff and freeing up your stagnant equity that you might find within your attic or your basement. Just kind of getting rid of the things that you no longer want or use. That's a great way of doing it. So Amazon is going to be number 4. Amazon is fantastic. There's a lot of benefits to Amazon, and there's a few downsides. So the benefits to Amazon is they take care of the logistics. They can store things for you. They can do drop shipping, which means you don't have to have a garage full of stuff. You don't have to outlay all that money first before you get some return from it. And it frees you up to take care of the marketing. They also usually have some sort of, like when you use Shopify in conjunction with Amazon, it allows you to do the processing of payments and things like that. So, which is all brilliant. That takes care of a lot of the work that you don't want to be doing yourself if you're not a technical minded person, which I definitely am not. So it allows us just to focus on going out and getting those sales, going out and marketing those products, and also finding the next product. The downside with Amazon is, number one, you kind of get stuck on the hamster wheel of fads. And I want to avoid fads like the plague. Why? Because fads will have you constantly searching for the next best thing, the next best thing, the next best thing. You're just trying to find that hot product that's going to make it big for you. And the chances of that happening are slim to none. What is a fad? Well, a fad is whatever your child had to have last Christmas, but they're not playing with it anymore and you can't even remember the name of it. That's a fad. It comes and goes really fast. Some people make a lot of money with fads, but it requires very good timing to do that. I would much rather be placed in front of trends. What are trends? Well, trends are large movements of money in the marketplace that have been moving for a long time and will continue to move in that direction for a long time. It's all around us. We're contributing to it every single day. What are some trends? Well, let's say health. health and well-being is a massive trend. As we get older and older and older, our kind of lifeline is extended, but our health line isn't extended. So people are looking for ways to look after themselves and feel good for longer. So that is a massive trend. That's where people have been throwing money for at least a decade or so, if not longer, and will continue to do so. Anti-aging is another massive trend. Technology, social media, platforms, all these are huge trends that you want to get in front of. And what it means is kind of like a wave that you can then catch. The great thing about a trend is you can be mediocre and still do incredibly well. The thing with fads is you have to be exceptional just to do mediocre, because everyone's chasing that fad. So that's kind of the number one downside, is it has you the potential to have you on that hamster wheel. And number two is there's no leverage in it. It's just you. And that's a problem for me. I want something that I can essentially duplicate myself, and I can go out there and multiply my effort so that I can have, like my family business, they have employees and they're multiplying their potential value out there. They don't have to be in the business because they've got people who are working for them. Well, I want that, but I want it on steroids. And so that leads me into the fifth option, which I believe is, it's certainly my favorite option. However, I am biased because I work with a network marketing company. So network marketing or direct sales is the fifth option for you to start making money today. Why are network marketing companies a great option? Number one, they have products that are unique and that are generally orientated towards trends rather than fads. There are a bunch of network marketing companies out there that are oriented towards fads. Avoid them like the plague, okay? Because it's a waste of your time and energy. But those that are operating in major trends that are going to be there for a long time, they've already done a lot of research and development, so they usually have a very unique and very special product that requires the explanation and the aid of a trained distributor to deliver it from the company over here and connect it with the consumer over here. So we act as that connector in the middle. And what that allows you to do is you don't have to take care of the logistics, just like what Amazon does. So they take care of the shipping. You don't have all that risk of having products sitting in your garage again. It just means that you can focus on finding the people who want the product. And you can get as creative as you want in doing that. It really frees you up. But the key difference here with a network marketing company and with being a seller on Amazon or Shopify is that you have leverage built into the compensation plan, because you can expand way beyond just your own circle of influence, just beyond the people that you can personally reach, because you can train up a team who is selling as well, and you can teach them to make extra money. And I mean, right now, that is what the world wants. Everyone is looking. That's why you're watching this video, is because you're looking for a way to make extra money. And so we help people do that. And then you can earn a commission based on how successful you are in helping others to make money. That is incredible. And for me personally, that's what I've done for the last 7+ years now. And so I believe it is the best option with the least amount of downsides. The biggest downside of the network marketing industry is that, number one, you have to get over the negative name and connotation that it has. It's kind of like salespeople, how most people say, oh, I don't like sales, or I don't like salespeople. No. You like sales because you like buying things. You just don't like bad salespeople. You just don't like sales that have been done incorrectly. And it's the same thing with network marketing. You would really love what is here, but it's just you have experienced it done poorly. And as such, you've made up your mind about it's not for me. So, downside number one is you have to overcome that. And you'll have to overcome that many times. Okay? It's a very common thing to overcome. But if you can overcome that, then there's a very bright future there. Downside number two is most people pick the wrong company. They pick a company that's not going to be around for very long. They pick a company that's kind of boom and bust. There's thousands of network marketing companies out there And for a multitude of reasons. Perhaps they had the wrong compensation plan. Perhaps they were based around fads rather than trends. Perhaps they don't have the leadership, the corporate leadership and the long-term vision to guide a company through all the hurdles that come with a business. So as such, I could go into a whole in-depth video of how to choose the right company, and actually I will do that. But that is the number 2 downside, is that too often people choose the wrong companies and it gives them a really terrible experience. So I can empathize with that. Now, number 6, this will be the final one. All right, let's call it quits after this. 6 is enough. That is probably the most popular option for today, and that is most people dream of becoming an influencer. Now, what does that even mean? It means that you have an audience of people who are following you, who are engaging with the content that you're creating, whether that be video content like this, whether it be audio content on a podcast, whether it be visual content on like Instagram or perhaps TikTok, or whether it be written content if you have an email list or you're a writer of some sort. All of those can create an audience for you that then people are following you, and once you have that audience, you can then monetize that following. It's kind of based around the idea of 1,000 fans, 1,000 true fans. Read that article. I will include it in the link in this video. It's a great short little article about how to create a business where you're going to have self-sufficiency for the rest of your life. And that is ultimately the goal for most people. Now, what are the downsides of becoming an influencer? Well, number 1, you need to have something unique. You need some skills in order to attract the attention of people. Yes, you can do it if you have some physical assets, let's just say, and attract people's attention that way, but trying to monetize that is quite challenging. You have to get quite creative, and creativity is important in this. Downside number 2 is that it requires an immense amount of time and energy invested first before you have any hope of monetizing things. Do not think about money just yet. Do not think about bringing in any sort of revenue from your influencer activities until you have built the audience first. So it requires much more time than the other options. That's a huge downside. So that's it. That's the 6 opportunities that are available for you today. I hope I have shed some light on the pros and cons and kind of guided you towards some sort of decision to look into something further. If you have any questions about any of those opportunities or something perhaps that I haven't covered that you think I should have, let me know in the comments below or send me a private message. My name is Kurt Provost. Like, subscribe, follow. I will be creating plenty more of this sort of content in this very tumultuous times. Ciao.